Welcome back to episode 85 of the Everybody Eats show. We've been doing this for a minute. Coming up on 3 years. And this is the fourth installment, or third installment of our travel episodes. So shout outs to Alan. First we did PR, then we were in Jamaica, now we're here in Miami, Florida. And we gotta give you an episode whenever we're ready. So it's been dope. We're here for the NABA convention, National Association of Black Accountants. You've been listening to us, you probably heard Edom and I talk about that a couple times. So we're here for the national convention, and it's been fun. It's been fun. So we're here with returning guest, Mr. Alan Joseph, founder, CEO, president of AJ Photography. He's been blessing with the pictures. He's been blessing with the pictures.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a photographer, so I just take what I take. But it's been good. It's been really, really dope. We've been here networking with students and all that. So how do we want to start this? You want to talk about just the convention in general? You want to talk about being here?
Start about being here first. I'm on this really nice hotel we're in, the Hyde.
Shout out to the Hyde. No free promo, but shout out to the Hyde Resort. This place is really, really nice.
Raised my standards. I kept saying that every time I was here. Really raised my standards.
Really, really nice.
The view's amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Water on the first day, taking that video, you get the street, you get the hotels, you're right on the beach. Oh, it's nice. So shout out to the Hyde. We're gonna have to come back. Gonna have to come back. But this NABA convention, right? Man, you guys been hearing this. If you've been listening, you've been hearing this for a while. Shout outs to NABA. That organization really, really changed my life. It changed our lives, right? For real. That's how we met Alan through NABA, sophomore year. Shout outs to Nigel Barker for introducing us. But that was the reason that wanted to join NABA. That was the reason I met Alan. He was about to be president my sophomore year. Right, and then from then we went to the Eastern Regional Conferences. This is the first time we went. Must have been 2016.
Yeah,
2016. So 2016. So 7 years strong, right? 6 years later, we started to the Eastern Region Conference in 2016 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We were taking a Greyhound bus. I think we took
twice. You did that twice.
We took it twice. I think the first they were probably like red eye, like overnight type joints, or just really late or really.
First one was definitely red eye overnight, and then on the way back, that was for our second conference. That was overnight. I remember we stopped at
that was some pit stop.
Stop, for like a couple hours. I know I got Hardee's, and that joint destroyed me.
And then the third conference, we got some money. Yeah. We had internship money.
We had internship money. So we flew. Look at us now. Now we get this paid for by the big boys.
Paid for. That's the best part.
Sponsors. Paid for with everyone. It's not my money, right? It's not my money. So, that's growth in and of itself.
We was in the trenches, bro.
For real. That's growth in and of itself. But like us being here, being like the money to get here and all that stuff, like it's so crazy. And like just seeing people seeing people that we met in 2016 when we were students and they were professionals. Shout out to Ryan Thornhill, yo. I told that story about how I went to the first conference and someone was telling me, and I went to EY, right? Mm-hmm. And it was Ryan who was like, yo, you have a really dope resume, but I can't take you because the GPA is too low. We have like a clip, that was like episode 1 or 2, I told that story. It was Ryan, bro. And like, that was one of the best things to happen to me, for real. And like, I remember that conversation. I remember that being at that career fair. And I was telling people like, yo, he came to our school. He spoke to us at NABA events. He came through. During the summer, I was interning at Family Management. We got coffee, lunch, whatever. We met up. And it kind of been slow for the past few years, not gonna lie. I haven't reached out, pandemic and all that. But then just like on the way to the bathroom, he was just chilling there. And he's like, yo, you remember me? He's like, oh, you look so much older. He's like, your face looks like 8 years older or something like that, right?
It's a stress.
For real. But it was just dope to catch up. Sometimes it was like, it feels like a family reunion a little bit. And low key it does. Because a lot of people have like a lot of impact on your lives. Like a lot of, especially if you're in this industry, like seeing people like Roots and Ryan and Jamila, seeing like people like I love seeing people from Baruch. Shout out to CUNY Queens College, Baruch. But shout out to CUNY in general, right? But seeing the people from Baruch, that dude who was like, oh, I remember when you were a student, and like now you guys are professional. Like he said the same thing in 2019 when we were in Baltimore, and it just makes me smile so much, right? Yeah. Like it just because it's like, and like you actually have an impact on people, right? Shout out to Binghamton.
You don't know who notices you either, like who sees you.
That's a fact too. You know, shout out to Binghamton. You know that girl from Binghamton. She said she had an interview. She had an interview coming up, and we got to just talk to her about like how to prepare for an interview, just like real quick, like 5-10 minutes. And then when she was done, she was like, "Oh, talking to you just made me feel better about the interview, like better prepared." And I was like, all we just gave was just like general advice. Like it wasn't like a mock interview or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So just being able to just help students like that, it's like that's what I love. That's what I love, bro. That's what I really love. And we're just able to do that for multiple days, man. Like, and it's worth it. It's so worth it.
It is. And that's what professionals, when we were students, they did for us, and now we're able to like give that back as professionals and help them give advice and pointers and, you know, truly be mentors. And mentorship is important.
Bro.
Yeah.
Very important.
Mentorship matters.
Mentorship matters. That's one of the programs at Capital. But it's also just the people that you meet. Yo, the president of NABA, I forgot her name, but just like watching her speak, we saw her on Tuesday, we saw her speak, and then St. Juice is just her last name, but I forgot her first name. Maybe it's Claudine something. But seeing her speak the first day, powerful, right? Seeing her when she was speaking, seeing her speak the first day, powerful. When she was speaking after lunch, powerful. Like man, it's so I'm saying. It's just so poetic. And it's like she's just very intentional about her words. She's a smooth talker, and like she's Haitian, right? So she has the accent, and she just does it so well. She's not like she just knows like what words to use, right? And we were talking about the other day, when you have an accent, like sometimes you have to like speak a little bit slower, more articulate, because sometimes people would have trouble understanding you. But it's like you don't. There's like she's nice with it, right? Like she overcame that, right? It's like she has an accent, but she knows how to speak at a pace that's like understandable, firm, strong, encouraging. Just like the word choice, it's like, damn, like that was a good, like even if it's 5 minutes, it's like, yo, you have my attention, like you a good speaker, and like I don't know, I just really like that stuff, right? And it's just like she just really knows how to get your attention. But you gotta say something.
Yeah, no, it's like you were mentioning her speaking, and really stuck out to me, and she was a great speaker, but the session that stood out to me the most was hearing Dr. Yusuf Salim talk about his experience, and if you guys don't know, he was one of the victims in the Central Park 5. They're all exonerated, of course, but after watching When They See Us and really like hearing his story through that documentary, then having him come and speak in person, that was really, really empowering for me personally. Hearing his story, he had a book of poetry with him. I'm not sure if he wrote it, but he did a lot of poetry, a lot of anecdotes, a lot of metaphors. He's a phenomenal speaker, in my opinion. It was beautiful.
It was awesome. Wow, that was really good. Were you in that?
Yes, I was.
He was there, yeah. A little afterwards, but it was great. I really wish I came from the beginning, but hour I caught. I didn't know he was a speaker either, but the hour of it I caught was really, really good. Like I had chills, I had goosebumps and everything listening to him talk, and I don't get that way often, so it was really, really, really great for me. I felt really inspired.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like obviously, as professionals, the workshops aren't as like you're not pressed to go, right? Like it's not the same as like when you're a student. But just the fact that they offer these type of workshops, you know, that's what I love too. You know, it's like, yeah, it's networking, but it's also like, yo, you can meet really dope people, see really dope speakers, right? If you're a student, it's like, yeah, you get the resume mentoring and things like that. But as a professional too, like if you just drop in somewhere, like you never know what's gonna touch you. You know what I'm saying? And like the CPE credits, thank God I don't need any of those right now. I'm sure those are helpful. But I'll probably go with this project management thing. You gotta like keep up credits, so they're probably gonna need some form of those credits. Are CPE credits only for CPAs, or is that like generally
I don't know. It's for CPAs. It depends on your license if it's a requirement.
Yeah. Okay.
So it varies.
Got it.
CPA is most common.
Got it. So, so again, if you're a professional and you need CPE credits or educational or credits, you come through to the conference. You get to network, meet people, and then you can go stay in an hour or however long that workshop is and go get that requirement knocked off. You know, on the beach, right? Like on the beach, and it's just a bunch of beautiful black people dressed well in one area. Who wouldn't want that? You know, like it's just, man, I love it. I love it.
There aren't a lot of spaces at this level for us, so it's really, really inspiring. And being able to delve a little bit to my convention experience, me personally, I know 6 years back, I didn't feel like I belonged at any of these conferences. I was unprepared, had a hard time getting along through the career fair, networking, and doing all that. And I knew coming here for this convention, I wanted to find at least one student who felt like that and who was like that. And I found them and I spoke, gave them my spiel about the company, my personal experience, how I grew 6 years later, and wow, 6 years is a long time. 6 years later, and just how NABA helped me. So it felt really good. Like, it felt that talking to that one person felt better than talking to 50 other bunch of people, bro. It felt really good knowing that, God willing, he takes what I said to Ari will remember me, or something I said stuck out to him, and I touched a life. So
yeah, all it takes is one, right? And like you can never like underestimate the power of like mouth to mouth, like word speaking, because like again, dude from Central Michigan, he was like, oh, like I heard people talking about your company, right? And it was like crazy. Like all we're doing is just talking to people, mouth one on one, face to face. And like you said, you never know who's like looking at you or who you remember, right? Same way you remember faces and you remember people, right? Like people are doing that to you too, So the same way you remember, oh, I remember this person said that. The same way that someone else is looking up to you. So it's crazy, and that kind of leads to like the diversity piece that you wanted to talk about. Was there anything in particular you just wanted to go on?
I just want to talk about diversity in general because that's kind of the whole purpose of NABA to begin with, right? And especially in the field of like the corporate space, where it's only recently in the past couple of years where that's been a big push within corporate to get more people of color, more minorities into not only the jobs, but now in positions of power where they can also bring up more minorities. So to me, that's very important. Like at least for me at my company, I'm on a small team of about 13 people. And when I first joined, I was only one of 2 minorities on my team out of 13 people. So it was like, I wouldn't say I was forced to. Because of that, I naturally gravitated towards my coworker that looked like me, that had a similar background to me, because we had similar interests, we had similar life experiences that you don't necessarily have with people that have a different culture. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like that's natural.
That's how it is. Yeah.
But it is a bad thing when companies don't make an effort to drive inclusion within their firm. Yeah. Because now that's just secluding a group of people. So one of the things that I value with NABA is like mentorship that I mentioned earlier, because I didn't want to say, oh, lifting as we climb, because that's their motto, but it's truly sharing your experiences and teaching someone that's where you once were, or a bit earlier on in life than you are, and teaching them from your mistakes or what you've learned along the way, so they don't make it, or they can even be better than you. So I remember like one of my mentors, the second guy that was he was also Dominican on my team. And like one day, he always like took his time to like train me extra than other people. Like they'll just be very descriptive in the email, but if I had any questions, he would like set up a call. We'll talk through it. We'll chat about life, different things. And I remember he mentioned, it was like just randomly, he's like, my goal is for you to be better than me. And I didn't really. I thought he was like joking at first, and then it took me like a couple of days, and then it replayed in my head. I'm like, his goal is for me to be better than him. And then at the time, it didn't fully like grasp, but I think that like giving back to people that look like you, especially in a world, in a field that's where you don't really see diversity, that means everything.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about to me. Having more diversity, and I think now like there's a new drive for equity, right? So not only having people of color in a company, because you could have 50 people of color, and then as you go up, you see that kind of tends to go away. As you go to management and executive levels, it's still white at the top.
Yeah.
So now I think there's more of a push for equity, where now you don't only have the people of color inside of the company, but now you're empowering them to become the manager, become the director, become the partner, the CFO, any C-suite executive, and kind of continue that cycle and create more of a diverse culture, and not just say, oh, I hired five black people, we met a quota, and that's it. So I think that a new initiative that I've been seeing a lot of companies go for is equity, and how that's an additional next step to seeing a more equitable, more fair, diverse environment in the workplace, specifically in corporate.
For sure, and the thing is too is like a lot of when it comes to like meeting the quota, like that's like step one kind of, but like that's low hanging fruit, right? Because you can bring people into the company and you can be like, oh, like we hired 5, 10, 15 black people, but if they all leave after 1 year or 2 years, then it's like, well, you don't really have the retention piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the part two that comes with the mentoring, because like at least that's one of the issues that you see a lot, is that maybe you get black people into the company, but if you're not providing them opportunities, you're not letting them grow, you're not mentoring them, you're not developing them, they don't feel any sense of belonging or sense of purpose there, then they're gonna leave, right? And that's not like, then like, what did you really do? Like, you just got them through the door. And it's not just because like, some people, right, can argue like, oh, well, maybe they're just not as good as employees or something like that. Maybe they're not a good fit, right? But it's like, if you're taking time to mentor other white employees, right, or just like, people that you like or that you're cool with, like, why don't you take that time to develop those minorities that like don't necessarily have those same people who look like them in those higher positions of power, right? And and that means a lot. If you have like a senior manager or senior business leader who's black, who looks like you, and you can tell you like, yo, I went to this company, I did this, I moved like that. We hear that a lot from this trip. We've been hearing that a lot. So like it really changes when you can have someone to be like, hey, like I was in your shoes, or like I understand what it means to be black, or like, yo, times have changed from when I started to when you started, but here's some tips that you can use to make sure that like you're standing out or something like that. That changes. That changes a lot, because it gives you that exposure and you really understand the company. And it's like, yo, like, you actually have a chance to, or have a good opportunity, good chance to move up. Or whatever they want. Worst case, you're developing yourself as an employee, whether you stay at that company or not. It's not just like, oh, you come here, just like throw something at you and then nothing. And it's like, if it's just fast food type place, maybe you're not really spending that much time. But like if you're going to be a whole organization, and then you're going to be talking about D&I, diversity, equity, inclusion, and this is what we love.
You're gonna ask that diverse associate to go pose for a picture they're gonna use on the website.
Yeah, it's like we're not just here. Yeah, exactly. We're not just here just for pictures and to be a diversity hire. Like if you're gonna say that you're about diversity, equity, inclusion, and all that stuff, you have to be about it, yo.
And
you have to
be
vested. Exactly. That's the good word. You have to be vested in those people, not just just here for
throw them in there.
Yeah. And I wanted to add, there's a saying that leaders aren't born, they're taught. And being a good leader is learning from your own experiences, but also being given opportunities to grow and fail, and learn from that. So, and like build up your confidence so that you can become a true leader. If you're never given those opportunities, then you won't become the leader that you can be. So that's why to your point, I feel like investing in the people, not only just hiring them, but giving them those training opportunities to grow and be who they can truly be and meet their potential. Leaders are not born, they're taught. So it's a really good one.
It's a fact, man. And it's like everyone learns differently too. This is gonna go more to like teaching styles too, though. Right? Like everyone learns differently too. So you can't like, treat all your employees or expect the same from all your employees. You can't like have one method style or teaching style and expect them all to get it too, right? So like that's where that mentoring part comes in. Like it's good to find a mentor, someone who really knows you, knows how you learn. Maybe you can't tell you everything about day-to-day job, and obviously there's that self-accountability to do good work, but like you can't necessarily treat everyone the same or expect everyone to learn the same, right? Like people need to grow and develop people grow and develop different ways through different experiences and situations.
The biggest thing is the exposure in mind. That to me, across the board, exposure is what will help someone grow.
Yeah.
Even talking to professionals is a little bit of a not really a tangent, but even talking to professionals and everything today, I got a better idea of how my own company worked because of how they explained it. They explained, oh, this is what we have, this is what we do, blah, 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 blah. And they give, a bunch of different like terms or explanations. The way each company may not do the exact same thing, so it's like a different section or facet of the same exact, the entire same puzzle basically, right? So hearing them and talking to all these recruiters and talking to these professionals gave me even a better understanding of the business world, how my company works, what this company does, the difference between one company and the other. So that in and of itself has helped me. Like now I know even better what is out there with other companies and how I can properly explain what I want in my future. And it's just simple exposure. Even within my own company, being involved in stuff like projects, making the most of my own experience there, learning and taking advantage. But at the same time, mentorship, like you said, you need that someone to maybe talk you through it or just help hold you by the hand and show you around. I keep telling Bensky this, people need help. People need help no matter what. Whether in different ways, whatever it is, but people don't know everything. And there are people who do know everything, and kudos to them, but there are a lot of people, especially our people, I feel like a lot of them don't know exactly everything that's there,
They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what they don't know. So it's really important, to just break it down to that level. I feel like sometimes in these situations or learning environments, they start so high level, or they start with the assumption that you have that building block. And yes, obviously, if you're in that space, you should have that building block. But like you said, people learn differently. Maybe not everyone might get it or know it the same way. So,
and people be lying when they understand stuff. You know how many times I quickly describe my job and people shake, yeah. Because I used to do this too, right? And I'm like, yeah, I understand. And then kind of towards the end of the conversation, they'll keep it real and be like, yo, I didn't know what you were saying, but I kind of understood that you were an econ major and we're an accountant. I'm like, so why? In my head, I'm like, why are you shaking your head and acting? Yeah, you know what I was saying. But I'm like, hey, I used to do the same thing, right? So I get it, right? But I just found that funny. Some dude, he was mad vested in I was telling him about trade ops. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, this dude's pretty smart, he knows. And when I was done, he's like, you said all those terms, but I didn't know what you were saying, bro. And I was like. I get it, bro. I was like, dude, that wasn't even the important part. I was just trying to tell him.
Give him an idea.
Yeah, give him an idea because.
Hey, you asked.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just trying to get an idea and kind of talking about meeting people who were in your situation before. Yep. He was an econ major here, and he was like, yo, everywhere I'm going, they're asking for accounting majors, right? And he was like, yo, it's hard for me to get internships because they're all accounting based, and I'm an econ major. What should I do? And I was like. Don't worry, bro. I was like, don't worry. Right? And I got to tell him, I was like, all right. I was like, well, off the jump, this is going to be harder for you, right? I accept that. You're not going to be able to really move unless you accept, you are at a disadvantage, especially in this environment with all these accounting firms. Boom. Once you do that, now you need to know how to move. Don't go to the big accounting firms or try to avoid those big accounting firms. those get the most hype. The UI, P-Dub, those get the most hype. But like all those mid-level and those companies in the back that you never heard of, they are still offering summer internships, finance internships. It may not be the same name, but they still have benefits. They're still paying people bread. They're still located in a lot of cities. They're still offering you experience, So it's like, don't sleep on those because that's where the opportunities are made. And just on a social, just like a strategic, when you have 11 people standing online for one person versus someone in the back who doesn't have anybody, you have a better
career for 3 hours, bro.
Yeah, bro, you have a better chance of making an impression on someone who doesn't have a line. So it's like those little things that just being able to tell people how to move that career fair, like, especially if you like an econ major. I feel for you guys because it's weird because there's no you don't have to graduate econ major and be an economist, right? There's no economy jobs or economic positions, right? That's not really a thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like a broad business major that gives you an understanding of the business environment. So it's helpful and hurtful at the same time. So you just need to be able to navigate that. And again, just talking to students and being able to teach them those stuff in those 5-10 minute conversations, it's a blessing in itself. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how far we've come. It's crazy how far we've come from students to here. As students, we used to sit, at least me, right? Like, yo, can't wait to be able to come here as a professional. Can't wait to come here. Don't have to be on the side. Don't have to look for a job. Talking about, we're getting bottles here at night. And we're doing this, right? We're staying at the room. You don't have to listen to the freaking dress code rules, and you can wear what you want and do what you want for the most part. You just have to be a good example, right? But it's just so much better.
It's real stress-free. Real stress-free at this convention. Talking to professionals was so easy. I remember as a student, I would talk to these professionals. I had nothing to talk to them. Like, I knew their company. There's only so much conversation I can do before it's like, all right, bye. I hope you liked me. Took my resume and everything. And with professionals, it's a lot laid back. Like that immediate. It's like the veil just drops, It's the same. It's really the same people. It's like we're all the same. We're all human and everything. It's just you have a job. It's just you have a job. That's it. And it's just like it's annoying. It's one of those things. And there's a lot of situations or moments like this in life where once you get to that age or once you get to that level of understanding, you're like, it's the same thing, but just different, but still the same at the very core of it all. So that was a really big. It felt really good, and it's something we all laughed about random times during the convention. Just random laughing out loud that, hey, I'm here as a professional, and unlike these students, I don't have to worry about this, that, and the third. So
it's crazy, man. And like you said, just talking to professionals is different. Now it's just I'm actually low-key genuinely interested to, I'm just interested in just meeting people from different companies. For me, it's just I met someone from Hilton. I don't know nobody who work at Hilton. Now I do, meeting people who work at Amazon, meeting people who work at,
Warner Bros,
right? These these random companies, and it's I'm actually genuinely interested to learn about you and your role and what you're doing, and I'm not trying to say you're on a job. I don't really care about a resume. It was I can actually meet somebody, that's just the cool fun part. Stress-free environment.
What I like seeing also was a lot more students had locks and stuff, hair like mine, even longer than mine, and there was less. It seemed like less gatekeeping based on appearances, and I know some people are some places they're like, yeah, we don't have a strong GPA requirement anymore, and stuff like that is really they talked about the scholarship. The scholarship, to apply for the scholarship, you have to have a 3.5 or something, a ridiculous GPA. I'm like, you're losing out on so much talent. You're losing out on so many people. We say this every single time. There are people who have 3.5s, 4.0s, but cannot sit and talk to someone. You do not want that person talking to a client. You do not want to work with that person. You don't want to trust them with anything or certain because sure, GPA is great, but I was telling somebody else it's only 30% of the equation. So hearing and seeing a lot of companies dropping their requirement. I talked to Deloitte and PwC. They said, yeah, 3.0 is fine. I'm like, bro, you guys were asking for 3.5 and 3.6 when I was here 6 years ago. But to see that, and to see how they're hiring different majors and all that stuff. It's slow because it took 6 years, but it's nice to see the industry is moving in that direction. So.
Longer than 6 years too. When we got there, that's how it already was.
That's how it already was. So yeah.
But like you said, it's gonna be a slow change, but like that's how the industry is, and you kind of have to adapt because liberal arts majors like that's becoming a little bit more popular. Just hiring outside of business because you're gonna teach them what they need to know on the job for the most part. You just want to
exactly. It's a dumb way to gatekeep, in my opinion, honestly, because at the end of the day, they might come and tell you, hey, I didn't use anything I learned in everything I did for this job, I learned on the job. So what separates you from the person with a slightly less GPA, but who might be able to host a meeting better than you might, or talk to a client, or be able to make this sale? I'm watching a lot of The Office, so Michael Scott, Office fans, that dude is crazy, he's like wacko and everything, but he makes good sales. He knows how to make sales. But, you'd be one of those people stuck in the, in the gatekeeping area. So it's one of those situations, I feel, so.
Yeah, man. Crazy. But, hey, really happy that they're listening. Provide more opportunities, bro. Because like they said, they made the scholarship requirement a 2.2. But they said pretty much almost out of 200 people applied, but they said 140 still had over a 3.5.
Yeah, nobody had lower than a 2.8.
Yeah, so. It was all right, cool. So even if you lower the requirements, well, you're still gonna get
still there.
Talent is still there, yo. Talent is still there. So shout out to them for changing. I look forward to seeing them. God will next year in New Orleans. So God will be doing this this rendition in New Orleans. Emails about this final event, Dress to Impress affair as we celebrate. Slow for that. But we were here for fashion first and for business second. I look really good this week. All my niggas look good, right? So all my niggas is cute. But Dress to Impress, we came out popping, how you dress is very, very important. It changes how people look at you, how people want to talk to you. What people expect from you, just make sure you dress well. And I haven't got to wear a suit and dress up like that for a while, obviously because it's pandemic and work. I don't. So just being able to just come here and look good in a suit, man.
Sounds lame, but that's the truth.
That's the truth. And shout out to the food that's been around here. This is the important stuff. Shout out to Mamacita's Mexican spot. That quesadilla was pretty cool. And shout out to that waiter for trying to get us that food late because it was about to close. Nick's Bar and Grill. That food is really, really good. Really shout out to, we promo on all these places. So Nick's Bar and Grill, huge serving size. Sweet potato fries were mad good. Mad good. Burger was huge. Good stuff. Gigi's Waterfront. That place was banging. The calamari was good. I wish I ordered that pow shrimp, but that pow shrimp was good.
Shrimp was so good.
I was in the surfing church. I saw you just dog it.
It was a lot.
That joint was good.
The lobster was good.
Yeah, good food around here. Good food around here, and that's what
You to a Mediterranean spot? Oh my goodness, bro! Lamb
I
chops,
forgot about that.
Lobster bisque,
my
grilled octopus. All good.
That roasted chicken. Because they did it here with the chicken too. It was a roasted chicken. The seasoning was nothing crazy, but they put it on teriyaki sauce. So it was just sitting on just a better teriyaki sauce. So it's soaking up. So every time you get a bite, it's teriyaki taste. Oh my gosh. That's the first time. It was such a small detail that just changed the whole chicken experience, bro. It just made the chicken so much better. I'm going to have to go do that myself. But Cuban in a few, so we'll go see that. So we have some priorities we're gonna have to balance. Do you have any last words for our listeners before we go get this food?
NABA, Lift As We Climb. If you're not a part of the organization, the conference, convention, go check it out, join. Great things.
Great stuff. National Association of Black Accountants. We met people here, professionals and students. This is my first convention. This is great. I wish I was a part of it sooner. I heard this in college, but I never joined. This and the third. It's only good feedback. So it's just a great, encouraging environment. Even if I feel like you're not a business major, just come, just to be in the environment, just to meet people. Like if you like to network, if you like to meet people, whether you're a business major or not, just come through and just see beautiful, successful Black people. I'm sure you're gonna leave with a smile on your face and a bunch of new friends and connections that you never had. And check out the food around here too. Anything last? That's it for today. So that wraps up today's episode. Let's go grab some food and we'll see you guys next time.